I know it feels like the same thing over and over again, but it's routine. Routine isn't always a bad thing. Sometimes, I guess it's the difference between good routines and bad routines, positive feedback loops and negative feedback loops. If you're stuck in a routine that you enjoy doing, then you're basically just creating a positive feedback loop. If you're not enjoying your routine, then you're creating a negative feedback loop. But then that begs the question of comfortability. Well, you know what? That's a good point. Well, let me finish my thought. Because that begs the question of comfortability. Is like, when is it that positive feedback loop routine just becomes a comfort blanket? I guess you can just know. Once it feels like, oh my God, doing this all over again. It goes back to that, it goes back to that idea. Once you start playing music for the crowd instead of yourself, you're fucked. So I guess if I enjoy this routine so much, then if I'm enjoying the routine so much because I'm doing it for myself, once I stop doing it for myself and I start doing it for the sake of other people instead of myself, and I start not enjoying it anymore, then that's typically the sign that it's time to move on to something else. It just happens to be that I need to talk, and I need to move around while I'm doing it. So this does work out in that respect. That makes sense. It makes sense in the sense that once I stop working for myself and I start working for other people, then it might be time to reevaluate things. Why am I doing this anyway? Is it just to justify my time? Well, yes and no. Yes and no. Kind of had this little breakthrough this morning. It's like I spend so much time by myself, jerking myself off, but it comes a point where it's like, if you're not putting it into practice, then what's the point of it, right? Right. What's the ultimate goal, though? Well, sovereignty in the sense of not having to rely on other people. And to a degree, if that makes sense. Does it make sense? It makes sense. I think you can expand on it a little bit. Me too. Well, I don't want to work. That's obvious. Is it though? Because is this not work? I mean, over the course of the past 24 hours, I mean, just with these recordings alone, I mean, clocked in, by the time this one's finished, we're going to clock in about 6 hours. I don't know, 24 hours, 6 hours out of 24, well, what is that? It's only a quarter of the time. Oh, fuck. That's not really a lot. How you doing, my friend? That's only a quarter of the time. Yeah, but what are you comparing it to? Well, I guess a standard work day is, for people is like 8 hours. Yeah, but mostly that's 8 hours of doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over. I mean, not everyone has to work 8 hours, and it's like, are you doing less work because you're only talking for 2 to 6 hours a day? I mean, that's a lot of talking. And considering the fact that you're not really, like, kind of going off the cuff here. And this isn't the only thing. Yeah, I know, but what's the point, though? Why does there have to be a point? I don't know. Like, why does there have to be a point? Good point. I mean, it's doing something. It's not doing something. And if it's helping, I mean, if it's helping in any way, shape, or form, then it's a positive thing. I mean, consider the fact that, like, it's not really directed at anyone in particular, but with every single one of these, I don't know, call them sessions, like, there's something to take away from it. It's not without purpose. I mean, even if it's just about justifying your own actions to yourself, I mean, that's something. I mean, it's making me think of, like, do you need somebody to validate you? Do I need someone to validate me? Oh, you're doing a good job. Thanks. I like that. I like hearing it. I just had a lady message me that she appreciates the things that I write. Thanks. I like writing them. I mean, I don't need her to tell me, but maybe I did need her to tell me that. If I didn't need her to tell me that, then she wouldn't have said it. She wouldn't have been guided to say, thank you, Hashem. I mean, I like when people say things like that, and I like when people ask me questions. I think that sometimes I get caught in this idea that I'm being attacked. Like, if somebody asks me a question, I feel like sometimes they're making me question myself. which isn't a bad thing. I mean, that's kind of how it works, right? Yeah. How do you really know that what you're doing is worth doing if you're not questioning the value of what it is that you're doing? And sometimes other people are going to ask the questions that you either are afraid to ask yourself or don't even think to ask yourself. Like, what'd you do today? Today? Yeah, today. What did you do today? I woke up. I responded to my group. I took some time and was talking to my group, my personal group. Scrolled through social media. Responded to some people on there. I mean, that's not like a 1, 2, 3 thing. Because I am writing, and I don't typically just write short and sweet responses. I have a tendency of writing long, elaborate mini essays, but again, I'm not doing it necessarily for the crowd. I'm doing it for me. And I know that when I do it, whoever I'm responding to or whoever I'm talking to, like they're getting something out of what I'm saying. But more importantly, I'm getting something out of it too, because it's like, how often in the past have I like held back or kind of like pussyfooted around a subject? That's why I didn't have to fully answer it. And the interaction with other people, like that's a good thing, because one, it's getting me comfortable talking about myself, which is not that I'm not comfortable talking about myself. I mean, I feel like talking about myself is the one thing I do best. What? What'll happen? I think someone tried calling me on Messenger and then yeah, that's what happened. Yeah, I feel like talking about myself is what I do best. Why? Because what else is there worth really talking about? And it's not that I just talk about, oh, look at me, look at me, look at me. It's more that when I talk about myself, I'm at the same time talking about why I'm talking about myself. I mean, just talking about myself for the sake of talking about myself. Like, I do that. I fucking do that all day. That's why I have like 120 journals in my room. I talk to myself about myself. Not everybody wants to hear everything that fucking is going through my head. I do, though. Because it's important to me. I mean, it's important to me not just for the sake of blowing my own horn, but sometimes I just gotta get shit out of my head. Because by getting stuff out of my head, it like clears up space for me to put more stuff into my head. And it's just been my experience that, especially if I write or talk to people that aren't me, in one way or another, they need to hear what I'm saying for whatever reason that they need to hear it. But then at the same time, I do too. Because talking to people is uncomfortable. It's scary. But something I've learned is that there's value to be had by confronting that fear and saying, fuck it, I'm gonna do this. Like this is fucking scary. I mean, I'm sure I look cool as a fucking cucumber, but inside there's a part of me that's like shaking in his fucking boots. I mean, not so much as in the past. Like, I feel like that part of me and we kind of have come to an agreement. I mean, I'm gonna throw it back to the fucking Torah. Like when Hashem chose Moses to go fucking stand up to Pharaoh. Moses was all like, I can't do this shit. You gotta pick somebody else, bruh. And Hashem is like, nah, sorry, dude. You the one. Don't worry about it. Like, I got your back. You're not gonna say the wrong thing. You're not gonna do the wrong thing. As long as you just do the thing, you did it. Sorry. And I think that's important too, because it's like, if there's no right or wrong, and there's just doing, right? No matter if you get it right, if you think you got it right, or you think you fucked it up, like, the fact that you did it is testament enough to say, oh shit, I can do that. I can do that again. Like the first time Moses went to Pharaoh, Pharaoh laughed his ass off at him. Where the fuck is this joker? Get the fuck out of here, bruh. I ain't got time for this shit. I got Jews to whip. Then it came a second time, and a third time, and a fourth time, and eventually, Pharaoh's just like, fuck, dude. This guy ain't going away. What the fuck do we do? And eventually, he had to literally give Moses what he wanted. Or what he thought Moses wanted. It was not even what Moses wanted. Moses didn't even want to fucking be dealing with this shit. He's like, fuck this, man. But at the same time, Hashem is telling him what's going to happen. He's like, listen, you're going to do this. It's not going to work. It's going to seem like a failure, but it's not a failure. And it's not you. You're not the one that's fucking up. It's this other fucking dude who is, like, being a prick about it. With every perceived failure, you're getting one step closer to success. And that I think is a good lesson. It's like you don't get the results that you want and you want to quit. I've been there. But then that also goes back to, just by doing it, you're doing it. And even giving up, you're doing something. Like it's not even like you're giving up. You think you're giving up, but all you're really doing is just taking a break. It's like, all right. Let me get a fucking breather in here. Because I need to, like, kind of reconcile everything that just happened, because I've just been through some serious shit. Some really traumatic stuff. Like what? Well, I don't know. Kind of like having the voice of God fucking talk to me and tell me to do shit, and then I do the shit, and then everything he says that's gonna come out of it comes out of it, and then what? What am I supposed to do then? Like, I have to recognize, I have to take some time to fucking collect myself and go, holy shit, that really did happen. And in my mind right now, I'm relating it back to my son's mom. You don't believe in me. Maybe for a minute. Maybe at the moment when I say the things, it's like, whoa, what? But then it's like God told Moses about Pharaoh. He's like, trust me, you're gonna talk to him. You're gonna show him what he needs to see, but I'm gonna harden his heart. And what that means is Pharaoh is a fucking narcissist. He cannot accept the fact that there is a power greater than himself. Not to mention that he's got all of his. See, in the Bible, in the Quran, they call them magicians. His magicians. But on the flip side, they're called priests. Same difference. He's got the gaggle of fucking geese whispering in his ear. Don't trust this guy. He's not legit. He's a phony. Look, we can do the same thing that he's doing. Right? Think like the first miracle, Moses fucking stomps the staff and Hashem turns it into a snake. Moses didn't do anything. That's something that needs to be cleared up too. Moses isn't actually doing anything. I think people get confused and think that the reason the Bible is fake is because Moses is doing all these mystical and magical things. Moses ain't doing shit. All Moses is doing, he's just showing up. It's Hashem that's actually making these miracles come to pass. But even still, after he did that, like Pharaoh's magicians are like, fuck this dude. We can do the same thing. Watch. And they did it. They turned their staffs into serpents too. But what's that come down to? It's like one side's working for the light, the other side's working for the dark. The light recognizes that there's a power greater than itself. The dark thinks that it's the highest power of all. Pharaoh's magicians were making it happen. For Moses, Hashem was making it happen. It was both of them were. It was happening. I saw this post in this sorcerers group last night. And this dude's going on about how he did a magic spell, a money spell, and within hours of him doing the spell, money showed up in his bank account that he wasn't expecting. But when he did the research, he found out that it was a state refund that he didn't know about. So it got him questioning, was it the magic that I did that made the money appear? Should I count this as a win? Well, it goes back to like the Matrix. When Neo knocks over the vase after the Oracle says, don't worry about the vase. What vase? Smash. Sorry, I told you, don't worry about it. But what's really going to bake your noodle later, would you have broken it if I didn't say anything at all? We could argue, like, yeah, the money would have showed up in that dude's account, whether he did the spell or not. Or would it? Why is it that he just happened to do a money spell hours before it happened? I had something similar. On the Aries new moon, this teacher of mine, Mia Magic, she started this 30-day money magic ritual. And for 30 days we were doing, we were following this practice, we were following this ritual. Every day you had things you had to do. The idea was to obviously bring money into your life. On the very last day, it went from the Aries new moon to the Taurus new moon. So it was a lunar ritual. We were mixing moon magic with money magic. And on the last day, I got a deposit into my account for like $600. So we literally closed out the ceremony with $600 being plucked into my account. Now, did you know where that money was coming from? Oh, I know exactly where it came from. I'm the one who made it happen. I was going through some shit with this company that I was working with, and they had owed me money because they didn't fully pay me for the hours I had worked. And it was a clerical error because of just a situation going on in the company that was outside of everyone's control. Certain procedures weren't followed, and because of that, myself and another employee, we didn't get paid fully as much as we were supposed to. So I had to put in extra hours after I got home for the next couple weeks, going back and forth with the corporate human resources department to get that money given to me. Now, it just happened to be that it showed up on the last day of the ritual, which was perfect timing, because it was right when I was at a point in my financial situation where I was getting nervous, like, oh fuck, hope I don't run out of money. But at the exact same time, was it because of the ritual I was doing? Was it because of the ritual that gave me the confidence to go, I can make this happen? Because if I didn't say anything, if I didn't do anything, if I just was like, forget about it, I would never have gotten the money. Just on my birthday, I got 2 more payments from the company that they owed me, that I claimed that they owed me. Well, I mean, I look at it like this. I made the claim that they owed me. They paid me. They didn't have to pay me, and I made that clear. If you don't owe me, if you don't think you owe me, don't fucking pay me. But they did. And they paid me right when I told them to do it, too. See, now, here's the thing with magic, is magic on its own isn't worth shit. Like, you have to believe that the magic is coming from somewhere. And what's magic is just something that's like, you can't explain it. There's no science behind it. There's no like logic. There's no reason. It's magic. But I know that there's forces greater than myself out there. Not necessarily God, but there are definitely higher forces that show semblances of an intelligence that I cannot fully wrap my head around. And I know what I call magic, what we call magic, is that force working with us for a reason. Why? Because it wants us to believe in it. Why does it want us to believe in it? Because if we don't believe in it, then it doesn't exist. That's kind of how that works. Why does money have value? Because we believe it does. Money doesn't just have value just because. It just doesn't like rain from the sky. Oh, thank you for all this value. Our monetary system is all based on belief. Money has value. We can use money in transactions because that's what we're told we're supposed to do. So we believe in it. Okay. So you're telling me that if I do work for someone, that someone will give me money in exchange for my time and energy, and then I can take that money and invest it and spend it how I see fit. Okay, sure, no problem. I mean, it looks like it's working for everybody else. So it must be true. You do it a couple times and holy shit, this really does work. But I don't like doing what I'm doing, that's the thing. How do I do something I like doing and still get the same results? Well, I think that's the point. It's like when you work for somebody for money, you're chasing the money. But when you're doing something for yourself that you enjoy doing, you can't chase the money. You got to allow the money to chase you, so to speak. Why would money chase you? That's so confusing. I know it's all very confusing, but that's the point. Why would that be the point of being confused? Why would you want to be confused? Well, you just get confused because it doesn't make sense right now. You can only be confused about something for so long before you can start making sense of it. Even if you got to make up answers at first, you got to make up some fucking silly conclusion, or even come up with as many different stories to tell yourself why it works the way that it works. Because eventually, once you can start making sense of it, as long as you can start making sense of it, then it doesn't fucking matter. Because what's true for you is true for you. Yeah. You want to call it magic? Call it magic. You want to call it God? Call it God. If you want to call it God magic, call it God magic. I call it Hashem. Toxic. Mr. Toxic. But we live in a place that it's like, it's almost dangerous to think to not follow the status quo way of looking at things. Things are a way, and that's it. There's no deviating from the plan. How? I don't understand. Because look at that guy over there. He's doing something different. Yeah, but you're not that guy. Right, but I'm not that guy either. And that guy's doing everything that everyone else is doing. At least that guy's doing something different. Yeah, but don't worry about that guy. Worry about these guys. What? Yeah, because as long as you just keep your mouth shut and worry about these guys, you're not going to cause a ruckus. Because you keep on talking, you're going to fuck it up for everybody. Fuck what up? It's already fucked up. Yeah, we like it that way. All right, well, I don't. Well, then it doesn't look like you're cut out to be part of one of us. Well, why the fuck would I want to be one of you? Literally, why would I want to be one of you? I spent so much time trying to be like you that I realized, like, this just isn't working. I'm more like that guy. Then go fucking hang out with that guy. Well, he doesn't want to hang out with me because I don't have as much money as he does. Well, then you're fucked. Am I? Or maybe that's exactly what I need. And we're not going to get into how I need to be fucked because I don't disagree. Proper fucked. Yeah. I know everybody sees it. Well, my brain's going back to Moses. Is like, it's not like the Israelites didn't know that they were being enslaved. They knew it. That's why God picked Moses, because it was like, my people are crying for me. I choose you, Pikachu. Right, probably because God was going, hey, here's what you do. Hey guys, hello, you're calling out. I'm here, and nobody's listening. There was probably a lot of, that didn't just happen. I think I heard God talk to me. No, you didn't. Don't worry about it. That's just your mind playing tricks on you. Get back to work. Isn't that a common story? No. Your mind's playing tricks on you. Don't worry. Just keep your mouth shut. Just keep doing your work. Huh? Something doesn't seem right about this. Yeah, trust me, you don't want to know the truth. Because if you knew what the truth was, you'd probably fuck it up for the rest of us. So just keep your mouth shut. Do people like being just in chains? Is that the thing? Well, I think it's comfortable. People are comfortable. It's uncomfortable doing uncomfortable things. I'm being reminded of the story of Aradia, Queen of the Witches, daughter of Lucifer and Diana, sent down to Earth in the 1400s to keep the tradition of magic and witchcraft alive, to empower her brothers and sisters to stand up to the oppression of the Inquisition. It's the same thing. Does anybody never notice a trend? Like, this happens a lot throughout history. You got Moses. You got Jesus. You have Aradia. Even Zeus had to stand up to the Titans. I think maybe, like, instead of arguing over are these myths and legends real, I don't think it really matters. I think it's more like, hey, do you see the story that's being told? It's the same story over and over again. It's when the power structure becomes drunk on its own power and it decides that it's going to start overpowering anyone and everyone that it perceives as being less powerful than itself. It's like, you give an inch, you take a mile. Here, I'll govern over you. Alright. Now give me more power. And the more power it takes from you, the less power that you have, or at least that you think that you have, and the more power that it thinks that it has. Until it becomes really imbalanced. I mean, the stress and anxiety that you have to go through just to get shit done today, and even then, like, it almost doesn't even seem worth it. And I think that's the point. It's like, that almost seems like the point. It's like, you have to put so much effort into getting something done that it's almost as if people don't want you to get that done, because if you get it done, then that means that someone else might try to do it too. And if we got a whole army of assholes trying to get this one thing done, that's going to fuck it up for us. In what way? Well, we're doing shit that they don't know about. I'm going back to my shit with Hugo Boss. Like, I'm talking to a lawyer, and a lawyer's coming up to me with these concessions, and I'm thinking in my head, wow, these people they're talking about me when I'm not there. Like, they're having discussions about me, and then giving it to this guy to tell me. So what else are they saying? And why am I talking to this guy? Why aren't I talking to the group that's actually talking about me? I'm just one guy. I'm just doing this by myself. Nobody's giving me advice, except for Hashem. And it was just like in the Bible. It was just like in in Exodus, where Hashem is telling me what to say. And Hashem kept on telling me, this isn't going to work. This isn't going to work right now. But just keep doing it. And it got to a point for me where I'm like, are these people fucking with me? Because I told them a couple times, like, just forget about it. I forgive the money. Just forget about it. And the next day, okay, sorry for the delayed response. Huh? Are you fucking with me? Like, are you just, like, it felt like a toxic relationship. It felt like what I was really thinking was that, like, wow, these people are just getting off on fucking with me. Because they're pissing me off by not responding to me. But then once I, like, have a hissy fit, just forget about it. Oh, no, here we are. Well, make up your fucking mind. Oh, no, your emails are just going to my junk email. Are they? Because as soon as I included this guy and that guy, whoa, it's not going to their junk mail. Why is it that when I talk to you directly, I don't get results, but when I talk to you and copy him, her, him, everybody's all ears now. But still, at the same time, we're still not getting anywhere. Because now you're just having me repeat shit. So let me get this straight. This, that, the other thing. Yeah, how many fucking times do you need me to say it? I don't know if you noticed the 61 emails in this chain. Always keep an email trail. Always have a fucking paper trail. Something I learned a long time ago, especially when dealing with corporate people. Always have a fucking email chain, because everybody real quick to forget. And I know people, and this is how I explain to them. Listen, I know that I'm not your main priority, but I'm my main priority. And if I don't keep this shit up, ain't nobody else gonna keep it up for me, because I ain't hiring a lawyer. I'm already broke. Which I think in itself is like, because I look at the situation like how I would imagine Moses looked at dealing with Pharaoh. It's like, damn, holy shit. I mean, yeah, thank you, Hashem, of course. If I didn't have somebody rooting me on, can't you attribute that to yourself, rooting yourself on? Of course. It goes both ways. But I'm not the type of person that edits what I say too much. Actually, yeah, not too much. And I have the voice in my head going, trust me, you're saying the right thing. Yeah, but I'm writing a fucking novel. It's okay. They have no choice. They have to read the whole fucking thing. Just get it off your chest. Get it out of you. Show them what is going on inside of your head. Because if they see that there's actual stuff going on, they have no choice but to handle it like it's supposed to be handled, like it needs to be handled. You may not get what you want when you think you need it. It may not work the first time, the second time, the third time, the fourth time, but keep persistent. And the money that I got on my birthday, that was after 2 months of having no money. I didn't have any money. I not that I was relying on them to give me anything, but I was trusting that I didn't have to worry about going out and chasing money, because what I was doing with them was opening up a channel to free the money to come to me. And that's exactly what happened. But also at the same time, it gave me an opportunity to stand up for myself and for what I believed in. Because if I didn't believe in it, If I didn't think I was right, I wouldn't have done it. And yeah, there was doubt. There was times where I questioned myself, going like, am I sure about this? And even the company said, we don't take any responsibility. We're not taking any liability for this. There was no wrongdoing at all. And that would make me question myself. But then I would go, then why are you entertaining this? It almost felt like gaslighting. It almost felt like they wanted me to feel bad about what I was doing so that I wouldn't do it. We didn't do anything wrong. You're the one saying that we did something wrong. We didn't do anything wrong. Yeah, but if you didn't do anything wrong, why are we continuing this conversation? You could turn the volume off. And I get it, because they were afraid you were going to take them to court. Okay. Were they afraid that they couldn't win? Were they that afraid that they couldn't win that they decided to, like, okay, let's settle this out of court? And why did they send me documentation saying, don't talk about this? What? Why? This is a real issue. And that's what the lawyers said. He said the company, because of how long this has been going on, they would like you to sign this document in exchange for the money. And the document said they don't take responsibility. You can't talk about this. If we find out that you talk about this, then we can come after you for lawyer fees and all this other shit. No, I'm not signing that. You already told me you were going to pay me. How are you? You're changing the rules. It went from we're going to pay you to we'll pay you if. But also pay attention to the wording. What he said was the company would like. The company would like you to sign this in exchange. All right. Let me have it. Let me see it. I have no problem signing it. Unless I don't like what it says. I didn't like what it said. And I said, no. I'm not going to sign it. If you don't think you owe the money, don't pay me. I keep on talking about this a lot. Why do I keep talking about this so much? Well, this is a really big, it's a big thing. I think maybe it's because I'm not really appreciating how big of a impact that this really did have. In what way? Well, I mean, I don't know. Well, how big of an impact do you think this had outside of yourself? I've thought about that. I've considered that maybe because of the fact that I refused to sign and they still paid me in the time frame that I told them to pay me, that somebody got in trouble, or somebody's going to get in trouble, or maybe multiple people are going to get in trouble. Because if the company is as reputable as it should be, then it should be clear, or at least worthy of asking the question, if this happened to one person, who's to say this hasn't happened to other people? And it has. I've talked to people from the company who have had similar situations where they weren't compensated for certain things that they should have been compensated for. So it's possible that because of what I did, I mean, I have a little internal fantasy that because of what I did, higher-ups are doing an investigation on the higher-ups to see what the fuck is really going on behind closed doors, and what it is that the people in power are really doing. I mean, I've experienced bullying there, witch hunts, where a team devoted themselves to getting someone fired because they didn't like the person, and they actually conspired against him. I witnessed conspiracy with the intent of having someone lose their job. People conspiring to steal from the company. I had somebody that was trying to coerce me into stealing from the company. I had a situation where I was the only person in charge of a store, and we had extra money in the register when we closed. And I had one guy telling me to take the money, and if I'm not going to take it, then to at least give it to him so he had some money. And I'm not going to lie, like, I thought about it. I'm like, oh yeah, he's not entirely wrong. But no, we can't do that. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We're going to put this in the envelope with all the rest of the money. They ain't playing that fucking game. Not on my watch. I had cleaning people that would come to the store. Oh, well, the old manager used to give us 50% off. Yeah, but she's not supposed to do that. Well, that, you know, what's interesting is, like, that's why I wanted to work for the company in the first place, because I used to hear stories about the shady shit that would go down in the stores, and I have a managerial background. I was in the marketing graphic industry for like 12 years. I started at the very bottom and worked myself up to being the operations manager of a commercial vehicle wrap shop. Like, I don't take shit from people. When I see shady shit going on, I had to fire a guy once because he stole time. And I loved the kid. I fought to get him that job. I fought to get him his job back. And then I found out that he was stealing time on my watch. And then I even had to go back to the cameras to watch. And granted, it was only 15 minutes, but I looked at it like this. Fuck you, that 15 minutes, that's theft. The owner of the company called me. And goes, don't fire him. Fuck you, he's fired. He's already gone. And he's not coming back. There's no, how do you call it? I was fucking ruthless. Not as ruthless as the owner could be, but I take my fucking job seriously. You come into my fucking shop, I don't give a fuck if it's my company or not. You come into my fucking shop, you come into my house, you take a shit on the floor, you bet your ass you're gonna clean it. So when I had this fucking dude, see what I mean? You know, and it's funny, I'm going back to Torah again. Book of Judges. The Book of Judges. At this time, there was no king of Israel, so everybody did whatever he wanted. And that's literally what it's like out in the workforce. That's how I saw Hugo Boss. It's like, the stories I would hear, I'm like, who's watching over you people? You're lucky that I'm not the fucking managers. Because if I was, you'd all be fired. Like, this shit, I won't stand for this. And even going back to the wrap shop, like I had my best installer. This guy was amazing. He was amazing. He did pristine fucking work. He would be able to do his work in record fucking time. He was amazing. But you couldn't rely on him. He would come in on Monday, kill it, and then be scheduled to go off-site tomorrow and never show up. And then we'd not hear from him for a week. The fuck were you? And he was notorious for it. And constantly, we would always hire him back. He had a history, even before I got there. Even before I got there, everybody warned me about him. Even the owner told me about him. So why the fuck do you keep hiring this guy? Because he's good at what he does. So eventually, I think he burnt me for the third time. Fuck it, you're gone. Don't even come back. You're done. And again, I had the owner. What are you doing? Fuck this. You told me to run the show. I'm running the show. He's gone. I don't give a fuck about him. We'll get the work fucking done with somebody else. Now, at Boss, I didn't have the power to fire anybody, and it's a good thing, because if I did, I'd just fired. I mean, firing people, it's not that easy. I mean, if you've never fired somebody before, it's like killing someone. If you've ever killed a human being before, or anything, if you've ever killed anything larger than a cat, taking a life, doesn't feel right. It feels like you're doing something wrong. And even firing people like that, you feel like you're literally killing someone. But at the same time, managing someone else's company, there's a lot of pressure on you. And for me, if I'm going to put this much time and effort into you, I'm going to have to say good luck, everybody, and put it back into myself. Put all that time and energy back into myself. I'm sorry. This isn't going to work. There's something not right about all this. I feel like I'm doing a disservice to myself and my family. Yeah, but what about bills? Nah. Listen, that's the thing. Is like, what are you willing to give up? What are you willing to sacrifice? I mean, if you're not willing to give shit up, if you're not willing to fucking have to eat dirt for a little bit, if you're not willing to fucking eat shit, you just keep clocking in. Keep setting that alarm clock for the morning. Make sure you don't go to bed too late. Don't drink too much on Sunday, because you got work in the morning. And you know how shitty it feels to go to work fucking hungover. And I know, it's frustrating. Like, I can feel like, what I'm feeling right now is I'm talking to somebody who works with their hands. Someone who does, like, construction. Someone who does, like, manual labor for a living. And they feel trapped. They literally feel stuck, because it's like, I got a kid, I got a wife, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Well, that's a great question. What options are there? Are you happy in your marriage? Whoa. Don't bring my marriage. Well, we have to. Maybe it's time to take a break. Maybe it's time for the two of you to discuss, hey, maybe we need to take a hiatus for a little bit so that I can recollect myself, because I got some shit going on.